How's it? Welcome to week 3 of the Legacy, season 3, week 3, wow. Season 3, sorry. Week 1, first postgame show, guys. Got a new crew of characters here. Tyler behind the camera, you may have seen him. The week 1 show presented by Napa Auto Parts of Stratford. I'm Joey Zacco. I'm joined by Ben Schneider, Ryan Spitz, Ellis Einhorn, and Matt Stefano. We'll get to them in a second. First, here at InSports, pretty good games tonight. Had some close ones. Had a blowout here on court 1, kind of expected in that sense. Let's start with some of the games in a second. First, a little note for next week. We're going to be doing live pregame shows where you can comment in. We're going to be changing the format of that to more of a debate show, previewing the games with these lovely characters here. And then we'll be doing taped postgame shows where we're going to add some stuff. So those will be up the next morning. Not the night of like this, but for week 1, live post game. What's better than that? Let's get into it, which is our favorite line around here. Serial Killers Sports Look. 2 teams from the fall, both a little different. Serial Killers took the win by 6, but trailed in the first half. What stood out to you guys about that game?
You know, watching that game, it looked like it looked like the Serial Killers were really struggling in the first half, not getting a lot of stuff going on offense. Sportslook was hitting them with a lot of good defensive pressure. And then, towards the second half, it looked like they really grouped themselves together, found a way to make some offense. Devon Pratt ended up with 20 points on the night, so big performance from him. Look to see more from him coming forward. Yeah,
he looked good. Tyron Coward brought in some new recruits for his team. Devon Pratt stood out. They were a little shaky in that first half.
Talk about shakiness, look at me.
But then they turned it around in the second half against a Sportslook team that also revamped, brought in some new guys. No more Brian Acevedo. Number 3 still pretty good.
Yeah, Gallo actually also had 17 points on the night leading their team. So
there you go. So both teams are going to get a lot of wins in the future.
Definitely.
Close one for week 1, and I expect a lot from those teams down the
Absolutely.
line. On court 2 at 9 o'clock. No Limit, I think they would call themselves the favorites. I don't know if they looked like the favorites tonight. Sneaked one out against Redemption by 3. And I was kind of watching the end of that game. They may not have covered the spread, but it was a lot of a larger margin, and they kind of tightened up at the end in garbage time almost. What from No Limit, a lot of you guys seeing them for the first time, right? What about that team, I don't want to say stood out because we kind of know who stands out, right? Number 6, Terrell, John and Howie. What do you think they can take from that game going forward?
Well, No Limits, what I saw, played a very fast-paced game. They were up by 11 points at halftime, and like you said, they only won by 3. Their third quarter, they slacked extremely hard, and in the fourth quarter, they allowed Redemption to catch all the way up and make it a 3-point game. So I think they really just need to work on their endurance and switching it up, because there was a point where No Limits would score alley-oop after alley-oop after alley-oop, and they would run down the court. They would play a very fast-paced game, but No Limits, or Redemption, was just able to catch up in the third and fourth quarters, and I think that's the only thing that No Limits has to work on.
Yeah, I think it was very telling for No Limit that they were able to pull this one out with Terrell and Ronte showing up late, 2 of their guys from the fall. But again, 3-point win. We'll see where these teams go in the future. Court 1, 10 o'clock, our largest margin of victory tonight. The Monstars clobbered the Avengers, and we kind of thought that game might get out of hand. What about that game? We know about Reggie Stewart. He's good. I know it firsthand. He's pretty good. What about that game, even for the Avengers maybe? Did you see from them that they can take to week 2?
Well, that game was extremely fast-paced. It went up and down the court, whether it was a dunk or a 3, and the Monstars got a lot of good opportunities off of that. I think they had possibly 3 alley-oops in a row, and then they had a couple 3s from Reggie, like you just said, and they really took advantage of the Avengers' lack of an inside presence. They had really no one that could stop anybody at the rim, and then that led to open 3s because got into the lane, kicked it out, and it really wasn't good. But aside from Reggie, Brandon Seabrook and Ty Olson dropped 18 and 16 respectively, so they're a pretty deep team aside from their best player, and then they really just dominated. The Avengers, they probably need to improve on defense, although they did show that they could shoot the 3 ball a little bit.
I was going to say, yeah, they were lethal from 3 now. They were trailing by a good margin. So
a little bit of garbage time.
Right, yeah. Who knows if that'll carry over. But they did shoot it pretty well, and a lot of penetration from the Monstars. It'll take a team to cut that off to really compete with them, I think.
I agree.
On the other court, a near buzzer-beating win, some missed free throws, got pretty interesting between Lob 203, who is the former Blood, Sweat, and Beers guys, and some new guys, and the Firm, who are some returning guys from the fall. 2-point win, 54-52 for the Firm, which I don't know if a lot of people saw that coming. They squeaked one out. What at the end of that game, anything stand out from the end of that game to you?
Well, I mean, they were really just a completely different second half team. I mean, that first half, it was a nail biter the whole game. I mean, Lob 203 came out and they held on to the lead the whole first half, and Martinez did a great job for the Firm. It was really a team effort, like he said. I talked to him after the game. He said it was a real team effort, and they really should have won by a little more. They kind of squeaked by, but total just a team effort, and yeah, they got some conditioning to do.
I think a lot of teams are out of shape. We're going to see one really out of shape team tomorrow in Stranger Danger when they take the court. We'll be back tomorrow, 9 and 10 o'clock. All the highlights from tonight and every night up on Snapchat at Legacy_Leagues and at Legacy_Leagues2. Run TMC Renegades kicks off at 9, along with Light It Up and Goon Squad. A lot of returning teams from the fall there. And then at 10, Stranger Danger versus White Magic, and the Rookies versus the Temptations, who have some new pieces. Can we expect some good games? I mean, any last notes from tonight before we sign off?
A couple of these games tonight were pretty good. More of the same tomorrow, probably.
Yeah, especially with a lot of new teams still trying to feel their way out. I think games will be close.
I think after tonight, it'd be fair to say that the Monstars, as well as No Limit, are at the top tier of the league. They looked very strong tonight. So.
All right.
See what they look like.
And we'll see tomorrow if anybody stands out, maybe on their level, and then as some of those teams face off. So follow us at Legacy_Leagues on the Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, as I mentioned. Interviews are going up on Facebook as well. Ronte and Tyron, I know. I'm not sure who you talk to at 10, but they'll be up shortly. And obviously, always stay tuned to thelegacyleagues.com. We'll have stats. These guys are writing some recaps tonight. So tomorrow, 9 o'clock. We'll see you all here. We'll be back live again tomorrow at 11:20. Until then, see ya.
Until then.
See you later.